No matter whether they're huge, really nasty, or just plain weird, there's simply no beating freaky monsters and aliens. Luckily, Hollywood has a lot of movies in the pipeline at the moment that aim to really hit the mark. In this video, we provide you with an overview of all the highlights. These infected are simply unkillable. A total of 18 years after 28 weeks later, Danny Boyle and Alex Garland return with another chapter in their horror saga, and they have big plans. 3 new movies are in the works. The first part, 28 years later, already comes along with an impressive cast. Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ralph Fiennes, and Jodie Comer. Aaron Kellyman, known from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Jack O'Connell are also part of the project. For the time being, we will have to do without Cillian Murphy as Jim, although his return was originally announced. Nevertheless, a first trailer has already taken fans' hearts by storm. We are therefore eagerly awaiting the theatrical release of 28 years later on June 20th, 2025. Jurassic World 4 Rebirth will breathe new life into the popular dinosaur franchise this year. With a brand new storyline, a completely new cast, and a director known for visually stunning work, you're in for an exciting movie experience. The plot revolves around Zora Bennett, a highly skilled covert operations expert. Her goal is to secure genetic material from the 3 largest and most powerful dinosaurs in the world. But things get out of hand on a remote island as a dramatic fight for survival unfolds. The director is Gareth Edwards, who has demonstrated his talent with movies such as Godzilla, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, and The Creator. The cast is also outstanding. Scarlett Johansson plays the lead role, supported by Bridgerton star Jonathan Bailey, Oscar winner Mahershala Ali, and Ed Skrein, known from Alita: Battle Angel. The screenplay was written by David Koepp, a true icon of the franchise. The release date for Jurassic World Rebirth is July 2nd, 2025. Black Panther director Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan are collaborating again, this time for the vampire thriller Sinners. The movie tells the story of 2 twin brothers who want to get away from their difficult lives and return to their hometown. However, they run into a bunch of bloodthirsty vampires. In addition to Michael B. Jordan, the cast also includes Haley Steinfeld and Jack O'Connell. The first images promise a dark, action-packed, and eerie horror spectacle. We cannot wait. Sinners opens in cinemas on April 18th, 2025. On July 17th, 2026, Christopher Nolan returns with his new blockbuster, The Odyssey. This time, as the name suggests, the master director is devoting himself to an epic film adaptation of the famous Odyssey. This is one of the oldest literary works in the world and tells of the adventures of the Greek hero Odysseus on his dangerous journey home after the Trojan War. Along the way, he encounters a cyclops, seductive sirens, and a 6-headed sea monster. As usual, Nolan has put together an impressive cast. The leading roles will be played by some of Hollywood's biggest stars, including Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Lupita Nyong'o, Robert Pattinson, and Charlize Theron. According to initial information, filming is set to begin in spring 2025. After 10 years, the horror game Until Dawn has finally been adapted into a movie. But it's very different from what many fans had imagined. Instead of retelling the familiar story, this time it's based on an entirely new plot with other characters in a different location. Of course, this begs the question, what does this have to do with the game? On the one hand, an attempt has been made to recreate the look and feel of the original, a group of friends in a secluded house surrounded by supernatural monsters and killers. On the other hand, the creators have come up with a special trick to adapt the game's alternative storylines for a movie. The protagonists are trapped in a time loop. This means they can be killed again and again by new dangers and yet try a different path the next time. The film was directed by David F. Sandberg, known for horror hits such as Lights Out and Annabelle 2, but also the superhero flop Shazam 2. The screenplay was written by Gary Dauberman, who has already acquired experience in the horror genre with It and The Nun. The cast is mainly made up of new talent, including Ella Rubin, Michael Cimino, and Maya Mitchell. One exception is Peter Stormare, who is already featured as Dr. Hill in the game. The Until Dawn film will be released in theaters on April 25th, 2025. Predator fans have reason to celebrate. After the hugely popular Prey, a new chapter in the science fiction series now awaits us with Predator: Badlands. Unlike Prey, however, this one is set in the near future. It is about 2 interconnected storylines revolving around the 2 twin sisters, Thea and Tessa. Elle Fanning takes on a dual role. Of course, the ever-popular alien hunter takes care of everything else. We can expect a brutal fight for survival in which the twins will give everything to protect each other. Once again directed by Dan Trachtenberg, Predator: Badlands will be released on November 7th, 2025. The director will also be responsible for a second Predator film. However, this will be an animated anthology film set in different eras. The focus is on 3 predators who arrive on Earth in different historical periods. The space hunters apparently fight against pirates and samurai. Early reports suggest that the movie will be released this year, but a specific release date has yet to be set. The Mummy returns. After the disappointing reboot with Tom Cruise, a new attempt is now in the works, with another new adaptation currently in development. This time, the director is Lee Cronin, who already attracted a lot of attention with his gory horror film Evil Dead Rise. In contrast to the cult trilogy with Brendan Fraser and the less successful 2017 attempt, the upcoming film will place greater emphasis on horror elements. The theatrical release of The Mummy is scheduled for April 17, 2026. If you don't want to go to the movies just for Frankenstein, you can do so on Netflix, as monster genius Guillermo del Toro is also trying his hand at Mary Shelley's horror classic. In this project, Oscar Isaac takes on the role of Victor Frankenstein. Maxine star Mia Goth, Christoph Waltz, All Quiet on the Western Front actor Felix Kammerer, and Lars Mikkelsen are likewise set to make an appearance. The role of the monster was originally intended for Andrew Garfield, but was eventually given to Jacob Elordi. The Euphoria star is currently one of the most sought-after young actors in Hollywood and has already showcased his talent in movies such as Saltburn and Priscilla. The premiere date for Del Toro's Frankenstein is sometime in November 2025. Following the success of the series The Penguin, the DCU is planning another movie about a Batman villain under the direction of James Gunn. We're talking about Clayface. He was first introduced in 1940 and has undergone numerous transformations since then. Originally, he was a struggling actor who was driven to crime. Then, in the 1960s, the character gained his iconic ability to shapeshift. This allows him to take on any persona or form. Mike Flanagan is to write the screenplay for the Clayface film. This suggests that it will fall more into the horror genre, which fits in with Flanagan's previous works such as Dr. Sleep and The Haunting of Hill House. The movie will be produced by Matt Reeves, the creator of The Batman. There is no director or lead actor yet, but there is already a release date. According to trade magazine Variety, distributor Warner Bros. Is planning to release Clayface on September 11, 2026. Maggie Gyllenhaal is shooting The Bride, a reinterpretation of the horror classic Frankenstein. The monster is played by none other than Christian Bale. In the 1930s, Dr. Frankenstein travels to Chicago to seek a companion with the help of Dr. Euphronius. Together, they revive a murdered young woman, played by Jessie Buckley. The cast also includes Penelope Cruz as Myrna, as well as Peter Skarsgård and Jake Gyllenhaal. Originally, The Bride was to be filmed for Netflix, but it was later passed on to Warner Bros. The movie will now be released in cinemas on September 26, 2025. With the title Gods and Monsters, the eagerly awaited relaunch of the DCU under James Gunn is finally starting this year. And we can already reveal this much: the name says it all. It has been confirmed that Swamp Thing will be getting his own movie. Although he is not as famous as most DC characters, he has already been featured in a number of live-action movies, starting with 1982's Swamp Thing, directed by Wes Craven. This time, director James Mangold will bring the character back to life. He describes the movie as a kind of horror noir film that focuses on the swamp monster's attempts to regain the memories of his former self. Swamp Thing is originally a creature from the vegetation of the Louisiana swamps. It is brought back to life by the consciousness and memories of scientist Alec Holland, who was killed in an explosion. From then on, Swamp Thing fights against anyone who threatens his swamp, the environment, or humanity. According to James Gunn, it is to be a genuine horror film. However, it is currently not known when exactly Swamp Thing will be released in cinemas. Which monster movie are you most excited about? Do you think there should be more movies like this in theaters? And what is your absolute favorite monster? Questions upon questions. Luckily, there's also the ideal place for answers, namely the comment section down below. We are looking forward to your opinions and your thumbs up.